metals and its compounds. So far we have treated group 1 elements, and in group 1 element we took sodium and its compound. Group 2 was calcium, then group 3. We are on group 4, and the metal we'll be treating is tin. The chemical symbol of tin is Sn. So now, tin belongs to the group 4 elements in the periodic table. Now, where can we find tin? That is the occurrence now. Tin is found from the earth crust as an ion known as cassiterite. Also known as what? Tin stone. Now the chemical formula is SnO2. Now if the O is SnO2, it means it's a compound. And what we are interested in is tin. So the next subtopic is extraction of tin. How is tin extracted? Now, the first step is to crush. When tin is dug out of the earth crust, the first step is what? To crush the tin. Then the second step is to wash it. So now, first and foremost, crushing of tin stone. Now, when we have crushed tin stone into powder, it is now washed. Through a current of water. Then, after that, the next is what? To roast the tin stone Now, the roasting of tin stone is to remove some impurities. Now, one of the impurities is what? Sulfur. Sulfur, that is. This removes impurity like sulfur. Is that okay? Then finally, it is then burned in coke. So the burning of tin stone in coke produces tin. So now that is it. So we have SnO2 plus 2C to give us tin plus carbon dioxide. Now the carbon dioxide removes carbon. Is that okay? So that with this now, we have been able to what? Produce tin. So what are the physical properties now? Of tin. One is a white lustrous metal. 2, has high melting point. High melting point and boiling point. 3, now it's typical for all the metals, conducts heat and electricity. That. 4, another physical property is that it is not ductile enough to be drawn into wire. And finally, it exists in 3 allotropic form. And they are grating, whiting, and the rhombic tin. Rhombic tin. We'll now be considering the chemical properties. Chemical properties of tin. First, we are going to consider the reaction of tin with oxygen. Now, you discover that tin is an unreactive metal. So you have to heat tin to a temperature of about 1,200 degrees centigrade to form tin peroxide. So that is it. The chemical reaction is Sn plus O2 to produce SnO2. Number 2 is reaction of tin with acid. Tin, because it's unreactive, reacts moderately with dilute acid, but vigorously with conc acid. For instance, now tin combines with tetraoxosulfate 6 acid to produce tin tetraoxosulfate 6 plus water and sulfur peroxide, which is liberated into the atmosphere. Now let's look at the equation whether it is balanced. If you look at the left-hand side, we only have 1 atom of sulfur, but on the right-hand side, we have 2 atoms of sulfur. So what are we supposed to do? Now, we have to what? Put 2 here. In putting 2 here now, we have 2 atoms of sulfur on the left-hand side, and then 2 atoms of sulfur on the right-hand side. But let's look at the number of oxygen atoms. We have 1 atom of tin, then 1 atom of tin. But oxygen has increased to 8 here. But oxygen is here. How much is the number of oxygen atom here? We have 4 plus 1, which is 3, plus 2, which is 5. So in our wise, we are supposed to increase the number of oxygen here. Assuming we put 2 here, this is a simple equation. You'll discover that the number of oxygen atom is now 8 here and then 8. Let's go over again to do the atom shape. Now, tin is 1 on the left hand side, 1 here. Hydrogen is 4 here. Hydrogen is 4 here. Sulfur is 2. Sulfur is 2. The equation is balanced. Let's look at another equation. Now, like I've said, the reaction with dilute acid is moderate. Now, let's consider another acid. That is hydrochloric acid. Now, concentrated hydrochloric acid is also what? A reactive reaction. So let's look at it. Tin plus HCl produces tin chloride plus hydrogen. Can we balance the equation? Looking at the left hand side, we have 1 atom of tin. Then on the right hand side, 1 atom. Then chlorine here is 1 and is 4 here. Now, why are we having 4 here? It's a clear indication that tin has variable oxidation state. You can have a tin can have what? You know, the oxidation number of what? 2, and equally can have an oxidation number of what? 4. So to balance this, all we need to do is, now if we have 4 here, and here, chlorine is what? 1. We have to put 4 here. On that note, we discover that hydrogen has what? 4 hydrogen atoms, and then here is 2, so we just put 2 here, and the equation is balanced. Let's look at another reaction. Reaction of tin with alkali. Tin reacts with hot alkali to produce trioxostanate salt. So let's look at an example. We have tin plus sodium hydroxide. And because it's a solution of sodium hydroxide, we'll be putting water here. So when these react together, it produces Na2SO3 plus hydrogen. Let's see if we can balance it. Sodium is 2 on the right hand side and it's 1 here. We put 2. Tin is 1 here. It's 1 here. Oxygen is 3. So we have 2 atoms of oxygen and then 1 atom. Then hydrogen is what? 2 here, but is what? 4 here. So we put our 2. Let's also look at the reaction of tin with metals. That's number 4 now. Reaction of tin with metals. With non-metals, rather. With non-metals. metals because tin is a metal. I'll be considering non-metals like chlorine. Now, when tin is heated with chlorine, it produces tin 4 chloride. Tin 4 chloride. Let's look at the equation. Sn plus Cl2 to produce SnCl4. So how can we balance this? If you look at the left-hand side, the atom of chlorine on the left-hand side is 2, while it is 4 on the right-hand side. So we simply put what? 2 here, and the equation is balanced. Finally, we're going to be looking at the uses of tin. Uses of tin. Number 1. It is used in the plating of iron to prevent corrosion. Used in the plating of iron to prevent corrosion. Number 2. It is used in many alloys. For example, we have bronze, which is made up of tin and copper. Then we have solder. This is made up of tin and lead. And we have a tied metal. Tied metal. This is made up of tin, lead, and antimony. Tin, lead, and then antimony. Let's check on number 4, at least another use of tin. Is used as tin foil. That's for the wrapping of what? Of food. For wrapping of food. Well, this is the end of the lesson for today. So now I would like to also read it for evaluation. I would like every one of us, like the students, at least to state the various steps involved. The various steps involved in the extraction of tin from the earth crust. Thank you very much.